Coming up at 11, an Eastern Kentucky high schooler writes a book to commemorate a mining disaster.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. A person was sent to the hospital after an officer-involved shooting in Grundy, Virginia. Officials with the Grundy Police Department said the shooting happened around 7:40 p.m. on Saturday at the Appalachian Inn on Hoot Owl Road. Police said the officer was assisting the individual with relocating. An altercation between the officer and subject occurred, which led to the shooting. The subject was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, officials said. Police said the officer was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation by the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Troopers with the KSP responded to a shooting Saturday night in Harlan County in the Everett community. According to police, one person was flown to Johnson City Medical Center for their injuries. Troopers have not made any arrests at this time. We'll update you with this story on our website, WYMT.com, when more information is made available. Rowan County business is cleaning up after a large fire Saturday morning. That fire left at least $1 million in damage to JW, a stave mill in Moorhead. Fire crews say it took 10 hours to put out the flames, but some parts of the mill are still burning. A manager at the mill says it will likely take months to get up and running again, and they're worried about their workers.
There's about 20 families that tables might be light for the next 6 months because of this.
Hines says no workers were in the building at the time the fire broke out. Fire officials say fortunately no one was hurt. This morning, the London Laurel Rescue Squad responded to a vehicle crash into a building near 5th Street and Main Street. The London Laurel Rescue Squad Facebook page said the crash happened around 7:48 this morning. Rescue teams and firefighters boarded up a section of the building for the property owner. Officials said Ambulance Inc. of Laurel County, London Police, and London Fire Department all responded to the scene. Those of you heading out in Knox County tomorrow, you may need to change your driving plans. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is advising drivers that Kentucky 1487 from mile point 0 to mile point 1 in Knox County will be closed tomorrow, Monday, April 11th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Closure is necessary due to CSX maintenance operations. KYTC asks motorists to be aware of the work zone, expect delays, and utilize safe driving habits when traveling through the area. We all have certain passions or interests that set us apart from one another. And for one Eastern Kentucky high schooler, his interest grew in ways he never saw coming. WYMT's Alyssa Williams met up with the Letcher County Central High School student to learn more.
What began with a few words written on a page,
a burst of air ripped through the narrow corridors of the section,
turned into a passion project for one Harlan County teen.
And next thing I know, I'm writing word after word, and it's just flowing to me, just ideas.
Letcher County Central High School student Micah Turner has a strong connection to coal mining, adding that his grandfathers and father were miners.
That's my dad. He worked in the coal mines until he got on the mine rescue team, and he responded to the Upper Big Branch mine disaster a few years back. And so I guess just the mine disaster aspect of that really influenced me.
Turner, who is also a photographer, took an interest in the Scotia mine disaster of 1976.
You look at all these other mine disasters like Upper Big Branch, Kentucky Derby, there's one over in Leslie County. They all have these big fancy monuments and statues and dedication, just like a memorial park basically. And you look at Scotia and it's nothing but a sign on the side of the road. I aim to change that.
This motivated Turner to write a book titled Down the Mine, a historical fiction that follows several characters who work within the Scotia mines and experience the disaster that unfolded in March of 1976.
It's a very touchy subject because of the pain that's drawn to that, and the biggest thing that I can stress with the book is bringing dedication and respect to those miners, because that's 26 lives who was just trying to make a living for their families.
Using his talent to give a voice to the voiceless.
I would love to keep that memory alive for them so that people know how dangerous coal mining is and how much those men sacrificed.
And hoping to create a dialogue about this disaster for many generations to come.
And so the whole goal with everything that I write and every photo that I take is to leave something for someone else that might inspire them to do the same.
Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Turner's book, Down the Mine, is set to be released on Friday, April 15th, but you can pre-order the book before then, from Amazon.
Well, after a wintry start to our weekend on Saturday, it definitely felt more like spring across the mountains on Sunday. Here is a live look at US 119, US 23 in Pikeville. All is quiet right now over in Pike County, and temperatures at this hour still on the mild side in the upper 50s and lower 60s, 56 in Prestonsburg, 57 in Jackson and London, and 61 over in Somerset. Up on Pinpoint Doppler, all is quiet tonight. That green is just some ground clutter, nothing in the way of precip falling tonight. And this quiet weather will continue through the overnight hours and into your Monday. So that sleeping forecast is looking a-okay throughout the rest of tonight. We stay under a partly cloudy sky, low temperatures falling into the upper 40s, and we get even warmer as we get towards your next work week. Also watching out for a few showers and maybe a few storms by next week as well. I got that full forecast and what you can expect coming up just a little bit later. Keaton.
Thanks, Cameron. The Herald-Leader reports that if a bill legalizing marijuana does not reach his desk, Governor Andy Beshear says he's ready to consider taking actions himself to get Kentuckians access to medical cannabis. The Herald-Leader reported on the governor's comments Thursday, reflecting his growing frustration with the latest medical marijuana bill. He told reporters that if the bill died, that he could potentially issue an executive order. President Joe Biden is expected to announce new regulations for so-called ghost guns. Ghost guns are unregulated, untraceable weapons made from kits. As soon as Monday, Biden is expected to implement a new rule that would classify the components used to make them as firearms. Doing so would close a critical gap in the government's ability to track these types of guns. The rule would also require manufacturers who sell parts to assemble ghost guns to be licensed and to run background checks on potential purchasers. The move comes as gun violence and crime have ticked up in the United States. Fans at the University of Louisville's Jim Patterson Stadium were evacuated after a bomb threat was called in during Sunday's game, according to police. The University of Louisville Police Department said authorities are at the scene and are asking the public to avoid the area until further notice. The U of L game against North Carolina was set to resume after being temporarily suspended. Spectators were not allowed back in the stadium, according to a Louisville baseball social media post. The Bluegrass Mountain Cup in Prestonsburg was held today at the Sugar Camp Mountain Trails. WYMT's Chaz Jenkins is at the starting line.
Banding together, bringing a unique challenge to bikers in eastern Kentucky.
We organize, get all the local permits and people at play and the mountain bike communities and everything to make this all happen on race day.
Some participants taking any opportunity to come out and race.
These things come about not very often. He's got 3 races scheduled for the year, so I'm trying to put those on the calendar in advance and make kind of a season out of it.
Getting a sense of childlike innocence when on the track,
which I think is a good thing for a working adult. Kind of go back on oneself and feel good and work through something, because it also takes quite a bit of effort and it's difficult. And so I think there's a lot of benefits to that.
Seeing more than 60 people come out and pre-register.
It was snowing yesterday and raining all day, and today is as nice of a day as you could ask for in early April. So, the date was a little bit of a gamble, but it's paying off on race day because it's absolutely gorgeous.
Thankful for the opportunity to host the race at Sugar Camp.
The elevation, the views, the hand-cut trails are something you don't get everywhere nowadays. And the locals and the ones that have crafted these trails have done an absolutely amazing job.
A beautiful day to get out and race. In Prestonsburg, Chaz Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Patton says they had several different races lined up for the bikers to compete in. The first one kicked off at 9 a.m. Knott County officials are gearing up for the second annual Easter egg hunt. Hosted at the Knott County Sportsplex, the event will feature inflatables, free food, prize eggs, Easter Bunny photo opportunities, and more. Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says this year they have partnered with several nonprofit organizations and local businesses.
It's going to be a great day for Knott County and our community, and especially for our kids. That's, we just want our kids to have a good time, and that's what's going to make it successful.
Dobson says last year they had more than 100 kids participate. This year he says they expect to see more than 300. Easter is 1 week away, but the Easter Bunny made an early visit today to Buffalo Trace. The distillery teamed up with the city of Frankfort for a fun drive-through for families. Cars lined up outside of Buffalo Trace Distillery for their annual Easter drive-through event, where families could collect eggs, treats, and visit the bunny. Last year, the event was drive-through because of the pandemic, and it was such a success they decided to continue it this year. Buffalo Trace Distillery is closed on Easter Sunday, and their next family-friendly event will be over the summer. Coming up at 11, a recent bump in COVID numbers has some states considering mask mandates once again.
All is quiet tonight, but showers and possible storms return by your next work week. I got those details coming up.